Hearing loss is more common than most people think, and many don't even realize they're losing their hearing because it's typically so gradual in nature. Dr. Carrie Scarff is with us this morning to talk more about what people need to do once they notice those signs. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
We were chatting a little bit during the commercial break, some statistics regarding hearing loss. 18% of adults in Canada deal with hearing loss, and 47%, so almost 50% of those deal with it once they're over the age of 60. That seems like a huge segment of the population.
It is, and I think it's important to point out that although there are 18% of Canadian adults who have hearing loss, they don't necessarily deal with it.
Okay.
So on average it takes people between 5 to 10 years to actually do something about it, and there's lots of research to show we should address it as soon as we think that we might have some hearing loss.
What are some of the early signs that something might not be quite right?
So the ones that you would typically think of would be asking people to repeat, turning up the TV or radio compared to your family members or your spouse. But having difficulty in a noisy situation it's usually one of the first signs. Ringing in the ears, some things like that.
It would have, I would imagine, a very big impact on your life. So you're really encouraging people, once you do notice those signs, to go see a doctor about it.
Yeah, so they don't need to go see their physician necessarily, and in fact we're launching an online pilot project where they can just go to our website and do an e-screener with some earbuds or headphones. So that'll be launched this afternoon on our website, which is audiologyinnovations.ca. We work together with a lot of research companies, and we think it's important to offer the ability for anyone to screen their hearing at any age, but it's most important for those over age 50 to get at least a baseline screening to see where they're at.
Okay, so if something is wrong, where do you turn to then?
So they would go in to see an audiologist at a place like our clinic, and then see what kinds of options there are to help them. And that might be something as simple as some brain training games to help them identify sounds more easily, or perhaps a hearing device.
Okay. It would have, I would imagine, a big impact on social skills, just day-to-day functions, not being able to hear.
Absolutely. So if people leave their hearing loss untreated for 4.5 years or more, there's research from Johns Hopkins University that shows there's significant changes to the brain, actually. So, and we know that people who leave their hearing loss untreated also experience social isolation, which is another link with brain changes. So it's really important to get things dealt with as soon as possible.
It seems as though more and more of us have our earbuds in a lot. If you're listening to music on a device, there's often not distortion, indicating that maybe you're listening to things a little bit too loudly. What do you suggest people do to safeguard their hearing?
So they should follow the simple rule. It's called the 1 hour, 1 meter rule, which is if I was listening to my music, my listening device with my earbuds, as long as I could hear you say my name from about 1 meter away, that would probably be a safe listening level, as long as I set that in a quiet place. And if I listened to those earbuds for about an hour a day, then we know absolutely that you're in the safe zone.
Okay, some great advice. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Morning.
Again, if you'd like more from Dr. Scarff, including that free hearing test, you can head to audiologyinnovations.ca.